Some things transpired, and one day he wanted to have a conversation with me, and it caught me off guard. Like, can I talk to you, Dad? Yeah, what's up? I have something I want to tell you. Okay, what's up? It's important. Okay? It's serious. Can you please sit down? How far along is she? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Don't be scaring me, dude. What's about us? Okay. What's up? He tells me, can you please stop making fun of me? And when he said it, I felt it because I knew how hard it was for him to bring that up. And I said, how long have you felt this way? My whole life. Have you ever tried to bring this up in the past? Yeah. What did I say? You told me to put on deodorant. It worked. Look, Frankie, I didn't know how to be a dad, okay? It was one of those things where I just knew there were certain things I didn't want to do. I knew that I never wanted to yell at you, and I knew for a fact that I never wanted to hit you. So I did the best thing I could do with what I knew how to do. I made fun of you. That's called shaming. This year, look, if you don't want me to do any more stories or jokes or just make fun, I understand. It's one of those things where I didn't want to make him feel bad, and I don't want to feel bad making him, you know what I mean? So I said, look, I'm going to let the audience know that we spoke, and so that they understand why moving forward in the future, there will be no more stories about Frankie. Why is that important? Because if I don't explain why I stopped talking about you, they're going to think you died. I don't want them to think you died either, so. Gave him a big hug, reminded him how much I love him, because I love him very much, and I hope he knows that. I think that a lot of the issues and frustrations we've had for a while now have a lot to do with the fact that I am no longer with his mom. I don't want you guys to think that all of a sudden I'm going to start doing jokes about her. I'm not. I have absolutely nothing bad to say about the woman I was with for almost 14 years. Okay? Nothing bad, nothing negative, nothing derogatory, nothing short of awesome. Nothing short of good vibes, okay? I have nothing bad to say about her. And not just because I signed a piece of paper that said I wouldn't say anything bad, but because at the end of the day, that is still my son's mom, and I need to make sure she continues to support me being his dad. So you got to keep it cool. And by the way, you guys, since the last time we were here, I've had a few things change in my life. Some things happened that were so crazy that I couldn't even believe that it was a possibility. First thing that happened was I had my first ever celebrity death hoax, meaning that someone faked my death on the internet and it went viral. Someone wrote an amazing article that was read by over 30 million people that was so good, even I was like, oh my God, I was so nice. TMZ reported it for 30 minutes until they called my publicist and confirmed that I was still alive. The article said that I had died October 31st from complications of type 2 diabetes. And in my head, I'm thinking to myself, that's a hell of a day to kill a diabetic. You know what I mean? That's like killing Santa on Christmas Eve. 30 million people read this article. No one thought to call me. Except Martin. That's right. Martin was the only one that called me. And I think that was just to verify that he still had employment. I got that phone call. Hello? Martin was like, hey, you dead? No, man, I'm good. I figured you would have texted me. And I would have, because that's the kind of friend I am, you know? I even asked my son Frankie, I said, Frankie, did you hear I died? That's what they meant. I go, what do you mean that's what they meant? Well, my friends were asking if you were okay. I go, what'd you tell them? I hadn't seen you. So, well, apparently I died. Welcome back. And that's another thing that's changed, you guys. My son Frankie is now 18 years old and 1 week away from graduation. You guys are clapping, but he's not leaving. I've already asked him, I said, Frankie, what do you want to do with your life? Have you thought about college? Just now. I'm like, Frankie, you do realize that all you need to do is get accepted. I tell a lot of jokes. I will pay for your entire college education, no matter where you want to go. As long as you get accepted. What do you think about that? I say, you know, if you want to go to school in California, we'll make it happen. You want to go to school out of state, we'll make it happen. I said, hell, I'll even do one of those international programs. You know, the ones where you give them one of your children and then they give you one of their children? What is it called when you kid swap? Thank you. Sorry. That's right. Exchange. Some of you are like, that's called human trafficking. Different program. I would love to do an exchange program with my son, but don't give me a regular kid. If I'm gonna do an exchange program, give me a kid from like a hardcore third world country so that he appreciates all the basic things most American children take for granted. That's why I say, give me little Tombutu. Give me Tombutu. I would love Tombutu, and Tombutu would love me.
Mr. Fluffy?
Yes, Tombutu.
I was wondering, what time do we go to sleep?
You go to sleep whenever you like. This is your room. We sleep next door. All of this is for Tombutu? Yes, all of this is for Tombutu.
In my village, 2 families sleep in an area this big.
Well, here in America, one big-ass Mexican kid sleeps right here. Enjoy. And then I would take him to like IHOP or Denny's and let him order whatever he wants and just watch him lose it. You know?
This is the Thanksgiving I heard of. Thank you, Mr. Fluffy. Thank you. If there is anything Tombutu can do for you, please tell me. Anything.
Can you help me take out the trash?
For you, I will eat the trash.
Meanwhile, my son's on the other side of the world on top of an elephant trying to get Wi-Fi. One night, I was drinking on the bus, and I go to put my cup down, and I missed the table, and the cup hit the floor. I didn't get up right away to get the cup, because I figured I'm gonna get up in a couple minutes and make myself another drink. I'll pick up the cup then. Dave sees the cup on the floor, and then he looks at me and says, "Hey, I ain't your mama. Pick that shit up." I get to the back of the bus and I'm like, wait a minute, I pay him. Hey, Dave, shut up. Yeah, I'll be in the back in my room. Thank you. Drive safe. And people tell me, you work with a man who talks that way to you? Why? Let me tell you why. Because he's honest. With Dave, you know exactly what you get. Nowadays, it is so hard for me to tell who's being genuine and who has an agenda. And with him, you know exactly where you stand. If he likes you, he loves you. And if not, you're on the curb with Kenny G. That being said, I have a story to share. About 1.5 years ago, maybe longer, we're on the bus and we're heading down the highway. Just so you have kind of an understanding of the bus layout, let's say this is the front. Here's Dave, the driver, empty seat, and then a sliding door that goes in between him and the rest of the tour bus. My buddy Alfred and I are in the living room portion and we're watching TV. we're watching the news. And on the news, there's this person who is running for some type of office. No particular office. And I guess their big plan is to erect a structure between two bodies of land. Somewhere. And I guess they want one side of the structure to finance the entire project. Well, my buddy Alfred and I, we have a lot of family that works in construction, and we know a bad job when we see one. So we started to voice our opinion out loud about how we felt about this person and what they wanted to do. We're being very loud. So loud, Dave can hear us. And then we hear Dave. America. I yell out to Dave. I said, "Be quiet, Dave. This isn't about you." He taps a button on the dashboard that activates the sliding door. And when the door's about that far from closing, he yells out, "I'm building a wall." I couldn't even get upset because I was too much in shock over the fact that that came out of someone 4 feet away from me. My buddy Alfred and I, we look like chickens. We're like... My cell phone goes off. I take out my phone, and there's a text message from Dave. And I said, "That's right, he better say I'm sorry. He better say just kidding." I open up the text message, and it says, "And you're paying for it." And people tell me, "You still work with him after that?" Yes, I do. I trust that man with my life every single night. I know where his heart's at. He can say whatever he wants. At the end of the day, he still has to drive around the king of the Mexicans. The point to this story is, just because you have a difference in opinion, it doesn't mean that you can't have respect for one another, that you can't have love for one another, that you can't have incredible friendships with one another. It's our differences that make us special. What a lot of us need to work on is our delivery. It's all in the way you say things. That's why text messages are always misinterpreted, because you read the text according to how you feel. What does he mean, hello? Yeah. Anyway, Dave has gotten us to 48 of the 50 states. He doesn't travel with us outside of America. He prefers it that way. Last year, we got a chance to do a European tour of 15 countries. Estonia, Germany, Norway, Belgium, the Netherlands, UK. We're just bouncing around all over the place. And then we wound up on the other side of the world. Out of all the countries I performed in, my favorite country outside of home is Australia. And I'll tell you why. Australia, much like us in America, has its list of priorities. You know what's not on their list? Political correctness. They do not care about your feelings. It's like a country full of Daves. Believe it or not, it's very refreshing to be around such a large group of people who speak their minds so freely. And if you know that before you go there, you're gonna have an amazing time. But if you don't know that and you show up, it is a culture shock and a half, because I showed up and I didn't know. Everybody says you got to see the beaches, and I went to the beach. I had people coming up to me. "Hey, somebody help me get him back in the water." Yeah, right there, big fella. Look at you right there. Oh, look, he's moving. He's moving. He's moving. Oh, he's crying. He's crying. I bet it tastes like gravy. It's not bullying if everyone does it. Yeah, that being said, I'm in Australia. Sydney, Australia, at the Opera House. For me, it was one of the most iconic places I've ever got to perform in. It was bucket list, definitely. After the show, I wanted to go hang out with some Aussies and see what that was like. I'm hanging out at a pub. First things first, Australian people do not drink Foster's beer. That's an American thing. They don't drink that over there. I tried ordering one to fit in, didn't go over well. Bartender looked at me. Hey, you like the taste of piss, do ya? Okay, don't order that again. So I'm hanging out with these two Aussies, and we're drinking a rum called Bundaberg. At first glance, it looks like a Coca-Cola bottle because there's a polar bear on the front. And then you drink it, and you're like, that's not Coke. As we're talking, a third Australian joined the conversation. And he sounded a little bit different from the other two. He had more of a raspy voice. More like, all right, yeah, mate, yeah, all right. He sounded like a drunk pirate underwater. These two guys didn't like him, so they called him a name and they left. And now it's just me and drunk pirate. We're talking about life. Life in America, life in Australia, talking about our differences. He tells me that he's a professional knife maker. He's showing me how it's done. He's showing me pictures. We wind up polishing off 3 bottles of this rum. And drunk wasn't even the right word to describe our level. My tour manager, Ryan, he comes up to me and he says, Gabe, time to go. And I look at Ryan and I'm like, but Ryan, I just made a friend and he makes knives and they're pretty. My tour manager always knows how to talk to me no matter what condition I'm in. If I'm drunk, he knows better than to talk to me like I'm an adult. He talks to me like I'm 2. He looks at me and he says, hey, buddy, you hungry? Well, listen, if we don't leave right now, they're gonna close McDonald's and you're gonna have to eat at the airport. I gotta go. Oh, Mom, you gotta go, no worries. And he goes to shake my hand. And when he shook my hand, he put his personal pocket knife that he made in my hand as a gift. That's for you, Mike. Thanks for being nice. Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna cut cheeseburgers with this. I know some of you just found out Martin is real because you finally get to see him, right? And if you're Mexican, yes, he looks like Machete or Marco Antonio Solis. If you're white, he looks like the Big Lebowski. Wow. This is awesome. And Martin wasn't lying, you guys. We started off in freaking garages and backyard barbecues and quinceañeras and weddings, and now it's like, you know, this is home for us. The biggest thing I've ever done will be tonight, without a shadow of a doubt. And I'm glad that we can all be here for this. This is, because yeah, after COVID, I wasn't sure what was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only good thing I can say about 2020 for me was the fact that for some reason I managed to lose 70 pounds. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I lost 70 pounds. People ask me, what's your secret? I said, it's no secret. They closed all the goddamn restaurants. That's a secret. I didn't know how to cook. That was the secret. It was me at home with a Foreman grill making weenies. But yeah, we were on tour in Kalamazoo, Michigan when we got the news that we had to go home. And then we came home and we all turned on our TVs and we watched them lie to us. I'm not trying to be a conspiracy person, but they told us, remember? It's only going to be 2 weeks. That's it. They told us 2 weeks. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, we just like to ask that you go home for 2 weeks. Be with your loved ones. Be with your family. Just 2 weeks while we figure things out. Dr. Anthony Fauci has given us some new information to go by. Just 2 weeks. That's all we need. Just 2 weeks. And I apologize for using the same stereotypical old white voice. But that's the one that they used. Because that's the one we listen to in a time of crisis. It couldn't be any other voice. It couldn't be, no hombre, cállate, shut up, mira. No más 2 weeks, okay? No más tú. You're gonna go home con tu mamá y tu papá. And if COVID come to the house, You tell COVID, hey, no está aquí, güey. Come back another time. It's okay. Just 2 weeks. It couldn't be any other voice. It couldn't be, I tell you what, this is what you're going to do, goddammit. You're going to take your ass home. You're going to hunker down. You're going to hunker down, and if COVID shows up at your front door, get her done right there to the face. Okay, that's what you're going to do. Just 2 weeks. It couldn't be any other voice. It couldn't be, all right, listen up. Okay, this is what's going to happen. You're going to go home. You're going to be with your family and them, right? And if, oh, you don't want to laugh at the black voice, huh? Whatever, that's your guilt, not my guilt. I'm fine. I'm fine. But yeah, just 2 weeks. That's what they told us. 2 weeks. And 2 weeks turned into 2 months, turned into half a year, turned into a year plus. And little by little, they told us who was most at risk for COVID-19. Come to find out, it's people over 45. Okay? People who are overweight. Here we go. Diabetics, no chingas. Really? Most at risk, Latinos and African Americans. Bye, Felicia. I come to find out I was 85% of the underlying conditions. Over 45, overweight, diabetic, high cholesterol, high blood pressure. Apparently, COVID is my Tinder match. Someone finally wants to swipe right, and her name is Corona. Yeah. The mask thing is still a thing. Some are for it, some are not. Some, some places it's required, some places it's optional. Biggest complaint I have heard about the mask is that the mask smells funny. And I'm here to tell you, no, it doesn't. You do. You are smelling what everyone has been telling you all these years. And finally, you're smoking what we've been smoking. Oh, yeah. I'll be honest with you. My mask smells delicious. My mask smells like Oreos and Tres Leches cake, okay? If you smell my mask right now, you will Krispy Kreme yourself. It's so good. I feel like selling it on the OnlyFans website to see if I can make some money. Some of you know what's up. Sucio. Yeah, so. This next thing I'm going to say is in no way, shape, or form political. So please don't take it that way. The vaccine. Look at some of you. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I knew it. I knew it was coming. I knew it. Look at him. He's got booster written all over him. Look at him. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your bodies. I'm just here to share a story. I got vaccinated, okay, and I'm not saying it to get approval. I'm just telling you because, hey, look, I was 85% of the underlying conditions. At this point, I'm rolling the dice. Plus, I wanted to work. I got the vaccine, but it was one of those things where, in the beginning, when you wanted to get the vaccine, you couldn't just walk into a CVS. You had to make an appointment, and it was a drive out. You couldn't just show up because I tried. Oh, I tried using the face. I'm like, hey. Apparently this only works at Red Lobster. Oh, yeah, I could show up at Red Lobster at 8 o'clock on a Saturday. It's on. Do you have reservations? It's Fluffy, make biscuits! But for the vaccine, no, I made my appointment like everyone else. It was a drive-out location, There's a little speaker box. May I help you? This is very familiar. Yeah, let me have a large vaccine. Pfizer, Moderna. I got a coupon, whatever's free. Pull up to the window, and then I pull up to the next window. And then a guy who's all covered up, he's got the whole, Then you give him your arm, and then they harpoon you, and they make you park your car for 10 to 15 minutes in case you have an allergic reaction. So I'm sitting in the car, and I got the radio going and the AC going, and I glance over, and I notice that there's people there protesting. And that's fine. Protesting is a right, and I'm all for it, okay? My problem is when protesters leave the sidewalk and get right in your face. So here's what happened. I glance over, I see the protesters, and I locked eyes with one of them. And I could do this all day. I'm in the car, right? Like, what? The lady who I'm looking at all of a sudden starts walking towards me. And I'm like, shit. She gets to my car and she starts going off on me. And I have never had a complete stranger go off on me for no reason at all. She gets to the car and she's like, "You are so stupid. You are so stupid. How could you get the vaccine? How could you get the vaccine? You have no idea what you just put inside your body, dumbass." I didn't know what to say. I was like, "Bitch, I eat chorizo." You have no idea what that vaccine has to work through in order to have any type of effect whatsoever. It's got to go through years with the chorizo, chicharrón, carnitas, carne asada, freaking hot dogs, bologna, spam, menudo, caldo de res. Oh, it's got to go through the gauntlet. So I get a letter in the mail from my old high school, and it's like, time for the reunion. My girlfriend saw the letter. She's like, "Ooh, your reunion." I go, "Yeah, my reunion. When is it? When are we going?" Actually, I was going to take my friend Tony because, we went to high school together. He's my best friend since high school, so I was going to take Tony. "You're going to take Tony instead of me. That's what's going to happen, huh? You're going to take Tony instead of me. Your girlfriend, you're going to take Tony." "No, it's okay. It's okay. You take Tony, okay? And I hope you have a great time." "Oh, thanks. I knew you'd understand, baby. I love you." Don't ask too many questions, you know what I mean? So my buddy Tony and I, we go to a high school reunion. We get there early, too early. There's nobody in the banquet hall. So we go upstairs to the bar area. We're watching a basketball game. Everything is cool until some guy recognized me. "Hey, you're the comedian." "What's up, dude?" "Dude, funny, bro. Let me buy you a shot." "Actually, man, I have my reunion right now, and I don't want to show up drunk." "Oh, I see how it is, bro. You're too good, huh? That's what it is, huh? Excuse me, George Lopez." "Let's do the stupid shot." "All right, bartender shot." So he freaking makes a double, and we freaking cling, cling, and slammed it. I'm like, "Oh. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. Let's do another one." "Oh, hey, man, I'm okay. Thank you." See how it is, Paul Rodriguez? "Let's do another shot." And he kept this pattern going. He must have had like 7 comedians behind his freaking wallet, one after another. I got so drunk. I was that level of drunk where you can't even walk straight. You got to look at the ground to navigate. You're just kind of... I get to the reunion. There's a lady at a table, and she's got stickers on the table that say, "Hello, my name is." And then with a Sharpie, you write your name. I was so drunk, I couldn't even write Gabriel. I wrote Flaco, which is Spanish for skinny. So, I freaking write that, stick it on, and we walk in. The party's going on, I'm trying to find a table. My buddy Tony took off. I couldn't find him. I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh my God. All of a sudden, the lights come up, and the class president is holding the microphone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Wilson High School class reunion. Let's just cut to the chase, find out what everyone's been up to, and keep the party rocking.
So she pulls out a list.
Who's done this? Who's done that? Who has the most children?
Some girl in the back.
7.
Everybody's like, "Puta." Now you remember. Okay. All right? She keeps going down the list.
Who's done this? Who's done that? Who's been on television?
Everybody at my table who wasn't talking to me before, they weren't talking to me before. Now they're like, "Right here, right here, right here." I'm like, "No, I'm drunk. No, shh." Sure enough, here comes the girl.
Oh, we have a celebrity over here. Come on, say something. Get up here, Flaco. Come on, Flaco, get up here.
No, I'm okay.
Oh, come on, get up here. Are you too good or what?
So I got mad and I jumped up. "I'm not too good." Everybody, my name is Gabriel. Gabriel.
Iglesias. I don't want to say a whole lot right now because I've been drinking and I don't want to say nothing stupid. It's really nice to be here with everybody. I see two girls here tonight. Two. Who, when I was in the 12th grade, I asked out to the prom. And they said no. But you know what? It's okay. Let me go. It's okay. You know why it's okay? Because like she said, I've been on TV. And you two girls who said no, you got fat.
One of them yells out,
You're fat too.
I know I'm fat, but I was fat in high school.
I kept my figure, why couldn't you?
And we did a show over in Northern California at this comedy club called The Punchline. Afterwards, we walk outside and we go around the side of the building and we started walking down this flight of stairs. And as we're walking down, these two big guys turned the corner and started walking up. And I mean big. I'm a big guy, but damn. And I saw that and I was like, Martin, back up, back up, back up, back up, back up, back up, back up. And Martin's drunk and brave. Bro, you look weak backing up. I go, shut up, I look alive. And the guys get to the top of the stairs, and I'm thinking, oh, they're gonna keep going. But they don't. They get right in our face. And as soon as the guy got right here, in my mind, I was already canceling credit cards. You know, I'm trying to figure out whether there's an Apple store. I'm bracing myself for what's about to happen. And I close my eyes really tight, and then I open them, and this guy looks at me, and he's like, oh my God, it's Fluffy! Oh, he kept going. Look at you. You are so fluffy. You are so fluffy. Touch him, touch him, touch him. You're like a standing Tempur-Pedic. Yes, you are. This is my friend Charles. He's a huge fan. Tell him, Charles, tell him. And then his buddy steps up and he's like, listen, I've been watching you for a long time, and I gotta tell you, you are a really big hit in the bear community. And I said, did you just say I'm a big hit in the bear community? And the other guy was like, yes, please don't be offended. He doesn't mean Yogi or Boo Boo. A bear is actually a gay man who is not, I repeat, not a little princess. He's not small and tender and tiny. He's actually a big man, a burly man, a hairy man. Delicious, yes. Oh my God, Fluffy, if you went the other way, you could be a bear. Oh, and by the way, thank you to whoever brought the chocolate cakes in the back. I got them right before the show. Thank you very much. Very cool. Mm-hmm. Somebody brought Chico's tacos too. I thought that was great. Now, you guys here know what I'm talking about, but everybody that's watching at home, they're like, Chico's tacos? Oh, what the hell's that? It's an El Paso tradition. If you come to El Paso, just know that that's right here. That's the tradition in El Paso. I ran into people in other places like Chicago and New York. I'm like, where are you from? El Paso. And I say, Chico's Tacos. And they're like, oh. Like, wow, yeah, that's hardcore. It is the craziest food I've ever tried, you guys. Craziest ever. Reason is, they give you these little taquitos and there's like a sauce and you pour it and like the taquitos float and then it absorbs and I never thought I'd see the day where I could drink a taco. Yeah. And you gotta have that at the end of the night. Don't try to freaking plan out events after going, They'll say, oh, we're gonna eat at Chico's and then go to the movies. No, don't do that, don't do that. You'll be sitting there like, hey, this is a good movie, huh? This is the one where Nicolas Cage comes out and... Anyway, he plays the bad guy in this movie and it turns out really good. Then all of a sudden, you're running by people. They're like, Chicos. El Paso tradition. You know what's funny? Is that a year from now, there'll be people watching this all over the world. Just like the first DVDs in Canada, Australia, and Europe, this DVD will wind up somewhere in Australia, and there'll be people in Australia going, what the hell's Chico's? Crikey, we gotta go. We gotta see Chico's. You watch, man. People freaking out. I say, we must go try Chico's. It sounds splendid. Yes, it does. Drink a taco. I never thought I'd see the day. I'm going to try it. El Paso it is. My son, it's a little challenging, you guys, and it's not that I can't relate to a teenager, because I can. I can relate to almost any age. You know, I got people that brought kids here tonight. The problem is that my son doesn't see me as an entertainer. He sees me as the guy that tells him to take a shower, put on deodorant, you know, stop picking your nose. That's me. His friends, on the other hand, I'm like a god to his friends. Every time I drop off Frankie at school now, I pull up, you know, the kids see my car. They freak out and they run over to it and they put their hands on it like it's a shrine. They touch the car like freaking,
Selena está aquí.
you know? Some of you got that. Gracias. Anyway. Then the kids start shaking my car side to side, chanting, Fluffy, Fluffy, Fluffy. And Frankie's in the front seat, pissed. He's pissed. He's like, this is bull. I'm like, hey, dude, don't get mad at me because I'm more popular than you at your school. Little hater. He gets out of the car all mad. They're still chanting, Fluffy, Fluffy. The thing is that our worlds are very different. His world revolves around Grand Theft Auto, the video game, YouTube, and girls. He's really good at 2 of those. The other one, not so much. And it's not that I'm trying to be a hater about it. It's just that I tell Frankie, listen, you need to start having more conversations. You need to become more talkative and interact like this. See, he'd rather text than talk. That's his whole thing. I'm like, dude, you gotta learn, you know, start to talk to me. I wish you would talk to me more. You could learn a lot about talking by talking to me. I'm just saying, I only do it professionally. But no, he'd rather text. It's at the point now where if I'm in the house and I yell, Frankie, did you take out the trash? Nothing. All of a sudden, cling. I take out my phone, no. But if I say, I got money for you, freaking Houdini, right? Oh, hello. Because you can't text cash. That's my big thing right now. I just want him to take out the trash. He's 16 years old now. He should have been doing this since he was 10, but, you know, better late than never. And what he does is he'll sit in the living room and he tunes out the rest of the house. He sits there and he'll put on these headphones that I got him for Christmas a couple of years ago. These Beats with the freaking studio button, and it cuts out all of the sound. They are so strong that when he starts watching his YouTube videos, he can't hear himself laugh. And for me, that is the funniest thing in the world. I'm in the other room and I can hear him. This is what I hear. I'm in the other room like, who brought the Germans? And so I walk out into the living room and I see Frankie and he's laughing at his phone and I gotta flag him down. I go, hey. And he'll take him off. What's up, Dad? I go, Frankie, can you do me a favor? Can you please take out the trash? Okay. And then he puts them back on. What? Now? I go, yes. Now? When you ask me for a ride, it's because you need a ride when you ask for it, right? Not later. Then he says, where are we going? Just take out the trash. And then he does it. He takes out the trash, but he acts like he's doing me the biggest favor in the world. And he stares me down and he doesn't break eye contact. He's like, and then I'll hold the bag over the can and he makes a sound. I'm like, dude, so much drama. It's crazy. I'd like to have normal conversations with him, but usually I got to take it that far for us to interact. You know, I look forward to conversations. Even if it's something small and minute, at least it gives me a chance to trigger another conversation with him. I look forward to a few things. I look forward to December, because in December, Frankie becomes very chatty. Otherwise, he's one-word kid. Parents, you know what I'm talking about. Kids, one-word kid. And you try to talk to him. Hey, how's your day? Good. You have any homework? Yeah. You gonna do it? Maybe. You hungry? Mm-hmm. What do you want? Food. Ah! Usually that's what I get. But December rolls around, and guess what December is? December is when he becomes very chatty because he has an agenda. All of a sudden, he goes from one-word kid to very like, hey, how's your week, Dad? You doing good? Yeah, how are the shows going? You doing all right? Do you need anything? You need anything? I'm like, I needed this in July, just saying. And I know it's fake, but at least, once again, it allows me to put my real conversation on top of his fake one. And if that's what it takes, then that's...
So here's the story. So I had done shows before, you know, in Texas, and I had never done a show in San Antonio. So the original plan was we wanted to record a special in San Antonio for the new Netflix show, you know, for the series. So we couldn't really travel too much. And remember, they kept telling us, stay in your bubble, stay in your COVID bubble. Don't forget to stay in your bubble. So in order to be as proactive and just careful, we all went out there together as a team, okay? And then we all basically said, we're gonna do a residency in San Antonio for 30 days. 30 shows in 30 days. And on the last day, we'll record a new special. This way it gives me a chance to start performing again, because it'd been over a year since I touched the stage. And so we get there, and they gave me the option. Do you want to stay in a house, or do you want to stay in a hotel? And I said, well, I've never lived in Texas before, so let's see what a house feels like. So they got us like this fancy Airbnb, and basically, you know, it was Martin, Alfred, my friend Rick, myself. It was like 4 of us. It was like the Mexican version of the real world, okay? So we're all in this big house together. Everyone gets their own room. And so, of course, I get the big room because it's me. And, you know, look at me. No, yes. So I open up the door. I turn on the light. Click. And I'm like, this is a beautiful room. Wow, look how big it is. And then I notice there's a hole in the wall. And I said, that's weird. So I get really close to the wall. And when I got close, I realized it's not a hole. It's a big-ass roach. And let me tell you, I am not exaggerating when I tell you that cuca was this big. That roach was this big. Now, I have used this unit of measure before to exaggerate. And let me tell you, I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that freaking cucaracha was this big. And I don't want you guys thinking, oh, what, you think you're too good for roaches? No. I grew up with roaches my whole life. My mom and I, we lived in apartment buildings, projects. We always had roaches, but they were different. First of all, they were this big. And California roaches are very different. Okay? For example, when you turn on the light, they scatter. In Texas, he chilled. In California, they respond to sound and movement. Ah! Scatter. I tried my California technique on this Tejano roach. I said, ah! And the roach was like, what? Oh my God, I don't think he's in my room. I think I'm in his. And at that moment, my tour manager walks in the room, and she's like, is everything okay with the accommodations? I said, no, the room is beautiful, but look at the wall. Aw, there's a hole in the wall. I said, get closer. She gets up to the wall, and she's like, oh, it's a big-ass roach. I said, you're okay with that? She said, he's not in my room. She can see that I'm visibly bothered by this roach. So she's like, would you like me to take care of your little friend for you? And it is a little emasculating because I'm a big guy and she's like 5'2". So she's like, move, fool. She takes off her shoes, she grabs it, she gets up on a chair, and she brings it back, and she's like, you know, soy la 69. Bam! Nail that roach. Threw down her shoe, put it on. I look at the wall, and it kept moving. And I said, you have angered our friend. And she was like defensive. Fool, round two. So she grabs her shoe, gets back up on the stool, and she brings it back. And just as she's about to nail this roach for the second time, that shit started flying.
I go home to find out that someone broke into my house. Yeah, I'm like, are you kidding me? That's why I survived, to see this shit. The only reason why you haven't heard about it until now is because the detective who's working the case told me I'm not allowed to talk about it. In California. Yeah, if the guys that broke into my house are here tonight, bravo. Bravo, that's a flex and a half. No, they broke into my house, and of course the number one question is, what did they take from your house? And what they took from me, honestly, was my peace of mind. I didn't feel safe in that house after. But if you must know, I did everything to prevent a break-in. I had, first of all, a good neighborhood. I had an alarm. I had 2 camera systems. I had a fence that surrounded the property. I thought I was good. I got video footage of the entire robbery. In 4K. Oh, that shit is crisp. I saw the guys that broke in, but I could not identify them because they were wearing masks. All I can tell you about the 2 guys that broke into my house is that they were 20 years old. I know they were 20 because when they jumped the fence and hit the ground, no pain. If that would have been like a 35-year-old with a messed up sciatica, he'd have thought twice about that fence. So they jumped the fence, they went in the backyard, and they broke the window and got in through the kitchen. They trashed my house, okay? Every drawer open, every cabinet open, everything got pulled out onto the floor so they could sift. Couches were flipped over, cushions were thrown down, and they pulled every single frame off the wall. And I asked the detective, I said, hey, look, I understand the drawers, the cabinets, and even the couch thing, but what's the story with the frames on the wall? Why did they take everything off the wall, but they didn't take any of the frames? Some of that stuff was art. Mr. Iglesias, you have to understand something about these people that broke into your home. They were not looking for photos or art. They were actually looking for a safe. I said, a safe? Yes, sir, a safe. A lot of times in these homes, people will put a hole in the wall, install a safe, and then they'll hang a frame over the safe to disguise that their valuables are in there. I said, a safe? Sir, yes, a safe. But I just got this money. Did they check the mattress? Well, I don't know. Well, let's find out. So we walk into the master bedroom. I grabbed the edge of the bed, right? And I picked it up and I was like, stupid! It's all here! Oh my God, these guys had no idea they were robbing somebody more ghetto than them. So at the end of it, they only got a couple of little trinkets from the drawers. And that's pretty much it. They made a mess of the house. They didn't get any of the money. I'll tell you what they did get. They got my guns. Now, I have never been open about the fact that I am, in fact, a registered gun owner. Relax, Florida. I've never been open about it because, quite frankly, it's nobody's business. Okay? However, it does pertain to the story that I'm about to share with you. I am a recent gun owner. I became a gun owner in 2020. Okay? When we were in the middle of it.
Every morning watching the news, we didn't know what was going to happen. And it started to feel irresponsible not preparing myself for a worst case situation. Every morning watching the news, it felt like we were headed towards the purge. Some of you are laughing, but think about this. The purge would have taken less time. Yeah, the purge. That's how they should have woke us up every morning, at least for entertainment purposes. I'd like to thank you for your participation in the pandemic. The local time is 7:45 a.m. Fear is why I decided to buy a gun. I was afraid, and I got no problem saying that. I was scared. We didn't know what was gonna happen. It's only for protection. I don't hunt. I don't wanna hunt. I don't need to hunt. I know where there's 3 Chick-fil-A's. I'm good. I don't go out on the weekends, you know. Pull! There's no crank, 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 crank. I still own a Nintendo. I don't need that shit. Fear is the only reason why I decided to buy a gun. So next thing you know, I wound up at this sporting goods store right by my house. I walk in there, and this place is packed full of people that normally would not have been open to the idea of owning a gun. But they felt like me. They were scared. And rightfully so. I kept hearing the same conversation over and over and over. I kept hearing this. I would rather have a gun and not need it than need it and not have it. And I don't care where you're from. That makes a lot of sense. And I was not about to let politics interfere with my personal safety.
Now, except the Hawaiian shirt. I usually wear like a t-shirt that has like either Star Wars or Marvel Comics or Transformers on it or cartoons. You know, I like wearing stuff like that around the house. One day, I'm wearing a t-shirt that has the Avengers on the front. And I walk into the living room, and my son's friend Fabian sees me wearing this shirt. And so he starts pointing. And I'm like, what's up, dude? He goes, weak.
Excuse me?
Weak. And then he says, DC's better.
What did you say?
DC's better. I'm like, DC's okay. You know, Obama lives there. They pass laws. They got hotels, historic museums. It's not even a real state. I don't know why you're getting cray-cray. He goes, nah, fool, DC Comics. And I'm like, hey, man, I'm almost 40. I don't care. It's just a really cool shirt. I like it. It fits. No big deal. That's because they are. I go, you need to relax. They're the best. I go, you need to chill. And in my head, I'm like, why am I having this conversation? I have better things to do with my time, like trying to get my son on an elephant. But no. The kid in me's like, why are they the best? And then he points at the shirt again. Iron Man sucks. Batman's #1. I go, why? Because he is. I go, that's not an argument. First of all, Batman's not the best superhero. I hate to break it to you. He's not. I can hear people already getting ready to boo. They're like, oh, no, Fluffy, don't go there. Don't go there, Fluffy. Don't do it. Yes, I'm going to do this. Watch this. Batman's not the best superhero. Batman is the creepiest superhero. Batman is the creepiest superhero that has ever lived. He even sounds creepy. I'm Batman. I'm Batman. You don't recognize that voice? Want some candy? Help me find my puppy. Hello, he only comes out at night. His face is always covered up. He's always waiting in alleys. And who does he talk to? A guy named Joker, a guy named Riddler. His name is Batman. Joker, Riddler, Batman. Joker, Riddler, Batman. Those are Mexican gang member names. Can you imagine if that was Batman's real identity at night? I'm Batman. During the day? No, chingue su madre, soy Batman, loco. Todo el pinche día aquí trabajando y luego le parto la madre Joker. I'm Batman. I said, all right, Fabian, Mr. Batman's the best. Based on my t-shirt says Marvel Comics. I said, I see Thor, I see Captain America, I see Iron Man. Who are some of the superheroes that DC Comics has that makes them better than Marvel? Go. Batman, you said that. Superman, that's a good one. Wonder Woman, okay. Green Lantern, whoa, 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 whoa. I said, I know the other superheroes, but Green Lantern? What's his power? He wears a ring, and the ring gives him power. I said, that's a fantasy. I don't know any man who wears a ring who has power. And if you're not clapping right now, my point exactly. You can't clap, can you? You can't. You know why you can't clap? Because you're sitting next to kryptonite. But you know what they do in the emergency room? They pull out these industrial scissors that cut through anything, right? And they started on the left foot and they finished on the right. And they cut all the way up and they cut all the way down and they pull all your clothes off at the same time. And Pikachu! They released the Pokemon! And man, it was cold. So they take away all my clothes and they replace them with this nasty lime green hospital gown, the kind where they tie it in the back and your butt is showing, you know? So I see my reflection in the mirror and I realize at that moment that I do not look like a comedian. Oh no, with all that green on, I look like goddamn Shrek. And it wasn't me who gave me the nickname, it was the nurses. I could hear them too. Mira, Marta, the gordito, he looks like Shrek. He does, all he needs are the antennas and the donkey, that's it. So they wheel me into my own room, right? I'm laying down, I'm holding my stomach. And the doctor comes in, and I don't know what it is about doctors, but they're just always happy to see you, right? Ah, Mr. Iglesias, how are you?
I can't fart.
No, Mr. Iglesias, don't worry, we'll take care of everything. Just do me a favor, roll over on your side. I'll be right back. So he goes over to the wall and he gets these little gloves. And he don't get ahead of me. He puts them on, right, and he comes over and he puts his hand on my side and he goes, does that hurt? Mm-mm. Does that hurt? And then this doctor turned into a magician. Oh, yes, he did. Because his hand disappeared. And it reappeared somewhere way back here. And I'm not going to tell you guys what he did, but you know what he did. Pokemon. And then he's got the nerve to tell me, Mr. Iglesias, I found a problem. You seem to be suffering internally. You have a blockage in your system. And the whole time I'm thinking, oh, you're the one blocking it, dude. Pull it out! So he says, Mr. Iglesias, we're going to need to flush out your system. I'm like, okay, cool, flush me out. Give me some, soda and some crackers. Let's do it, right? No, Mr. Iglesias, we have a special way of flushing you out, right? So he rings the call button for the nurse, ding, and the nurse comes in.
Oh, it's a Shrek.
And she walks in, right? And she's got this little bag with like a little hose hanging out of it, right? And I see this hose and I'm thinking, ooh, you better be watering a plant. And I'm not gonna tell you guys what she did with the hose, but you know what she did with the hose. She made me a pinchy water balloon. And when they say they're gonna flush you out, they're not lying. The second they do this to you, guess when you gotta go? Right then and there. And they don't do it when it's all convenient, when you're over here in the facilities and you're sitting down and you're like, okay, do it, let it rip, dale gas, let's go. They do it when you're laying down 18 feet away in a bed, laying down, and then they do this to you, and anything you have in here goes from here back there like that, man. And it hits you like lightning, dude. It's like, my arms locked up, my legs sticking up. I tried to run to the restroom. I look like an old Frankenstein movie, man. Just, asking Martin because, people saw Stand Up Revolution Season 1, and they noticed that your hair is different. Your hair is actually 3 inches longer than it was last year.
You know what? I'm just glad I picked up inches somewhere, bro. I'll take it.
Well, it's different, bro, because last year, it was getting longer, kind of starts getting, now you're bringing back the 80s, bro.
I wish I could bring back the 80s. I went hard in the 80s, bro. You know that show, Remember the 80s? Mm-hmm. I'm glad they made it because I forgot half the crap that I did.
And you guys have no idea. This man right here, okay, if he looks like a rock star, it's because he is. He parties hard. I know how hard he parties. Ozo knows how hard he parties. Let me tell you a story. After, season 1, Stand Up Revolution, we went on tour for a while. We went all over the U.S. And as a gift to all my buddies that were on the tour with me, I gave everybody an iPhone 4S. For gift. Martin was so excited because it had this feature, it still has this feature called Siri, where you hit the button and you can talk to the phone and it'll help you out. Like you say, oh, call John, and it's like, ding, ding, calling John. It's really, really cool. But Martin, you see how he is? He messes with the phone. He's like, ding, ding, Siri, tell me something dirty. And the phone takes everything literal, so it's like, ding, would you like me to locate a car wash? So anyways, you guys, I had a lot of fun watching him play with the phone, but then a couple weeks go by, and we're doing a show out in Northern California in San Jose, and we had a really good time that night doing the show, and the people invited us to hang out, and we had a bunch of drinks, and someone said, you want to go eat? And I was like, well, yeah, and someone said, you want to go drink? And so Martin and I parted ways for about an hour, and then we met up an hour later back at the, at the hotel, and I'm walking in okay, and he's gone. He is just, and somebody's helping him in. I'm like, who are you? I don't know, but he fell. And dragging him in, and he doesn't even take off his clothes. He gets into the bed with everything on, including his shoes. So the next morning, guys, Martin comes over to my side of the room, and he's like, bro, are you okay? Bro, I peed on myself. And my response was actually, again? Because he's partied that hard in the past. Martin has partied so hard, you guys, that there's been times where he's had to throw away mattresses. All right? So I go, Martin, why are you taking this so much worse? In the past, whenever that happened, he laughed about, oh, bro, look what happened. Party like a rock star, He goes, bro, you don't understand. My phone was in my pocket. I go, no. Yeah, I drowned Siri. I had a heart attack. And I felt bad because Martin was like, bro, it's a new phone. I go, listen, Martin. I says, hey, don't worry, I got you covered, man. And so I said, listen, I'm going to go get you a new phone. So we take a nice little trip to the mall, and we found an Apple store. And we get to the front, and there's a girl there with a clipboard, and they're always trying to, how can I help you? And, well, we want to see about replacing my friend's phone. Did he lose it? I go, no, it's actually, it got damaged. Well, what's wrong with the phone? I go, it kind of got wet. And then she looks at Martin, oh, did someone drop it in the sink? Like, no, not exactly. And she said, oh, he dropped it in the toilet? He wishes. She goes, well, we have a few in stock. Would you like a black iPhone or would you like a white iPhone? I said, well, Martin and I have the same color iPhone. I said, we both have a white one. So I says, just so we don't have the confusion of always grabbing each other's phones, I said, Martin, would you mind getting a black iPhone? He goes, yeah, but does the black iPhone have Siri? And I'm like, what kind of a question is that? Why wouldn't the black iPhone have Siri, right? And then I started thinking, can you imagine if a black iPhone was really a black iPhone? Martin gets in the car. Doom, doom. Siri, what's the temperature outside? Why don't you stick your head out the window? Doom, doom. Siri, talk dirty to me. You better not pee on me. Okay, I ain't like that white iPhone.
족할 것 같아서 그 사람을 찾아가서 달라고 할게요. 그렇지 않으면 그녀는 몰래 학교를 그만둬야 할 것이다. 꼬치개미는 정말 따뜻한 소년이다. 따뜻한 남자는 여전히 가족에게 돈을 요구해야 할 때 따뜻한 남자의 방식으로 항상 성실합니다. 당신의 돈은 모두 나를 위한 것입니다. 나를 위해 온갖 선물을 사주고 당신은 나를 위해 온갖 꽃을 사준다. 돈 없으면 나가라. 꾸짖으며 가족을 구합니다. 나는 당신이 그렇게 하는 것을 허용하지 않습니다. 나는 돈이 있습니다. 돈이 부족하면 내가 주겠다. 따라서 탄이 기생충이었던 것은 아닙니다. 왜 먹지 않니? 그는 프리로딩을 가장 좋아합니다. 그는 사진을 좋아해요. 나는 당신을 위해 장비 상점을 열었습니다. 차를 바꾸고 싶어요. 친구를 통해 카드를 줬어요. 돈이 부족하면 나에게로 오라. 아이를 몰래 키우는 것보다 아이를 몰래 키우는 것이 더 비싸다고 말하는 친구들이 늘 있다. 하지만 내가 당신을 위해 돈을 쓴 세월을 부인할 수 없습니다. 나는 매우 행복합니다. 나는 그것을 기대하지 않았습니다. 그 모든 것이 마침내 붐처럼 돌아와 내 심장을 찔러 몰래 꿰뚫었다. 다음 날 오후 나도 비행기를 타고 돌아왔다. 누군가가 그가 돈을 모으고 있다고 나에게 밝혔습니다. 그는 오랫동안 소중히 여겨온 카메라를 팔려고 했습니다. 심지어 자신을 빌려준 친구들에게 돈을 돌려달라고 요구하기도 했습니다. 예상대로 그는 자선단체 대신 이 정도의 돈을 부담할 작정이었다. 하지만 그것은 내가 당신에게 주는 선택이 아닙니다. 그래서 고소를 하거나 법원에 가는 경우에도 모아둔 서류를 모두 보냈습니다. 르 탐켄슈어는 공동 피고이다. 나는 요즘 한가하지 않습니다. 나는 많은 증거를 수집했습니다. 나는 탐켄슈언의 습관을 아주 잘 이해합니다. 나는 당신이 어떤 호텔, 레스토랑, 클럽하우스, 명품 매장에 자주 가는지 알고 있습니다. 그들의 불륜을 확인하는데 3개월은 그리 길지 않다. 너무 쉽다. 두 탄의